Hello YouTube, this is Neon, and today the title of my talk is going to be From Coping to Thriving with Life, 12/3/17. I put the date on there, which is today's date, because this is a series that I plan on doing for a while. I don't know how often, but my channel is pretty open in terms of what it's about. And I think that I've talked about my life, but in a sort of a compartmentalized way, talking about aspects of my life versus talking about how am I doing, what's going on, just in a more general sense. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but I do plan on doing this from time to time, from coping to thriving with life. I will be talking just about my life and how I cope, how I thrive, and what I'm going through. So one thing that sort of defines my life right now is the fact that I'm on SSI. I'm on SSI, and I live off of $900 a month. Plus the government pays for my Medicare or Medi-Cal. Sometimes I have to pinch myself to think, how do I get by on $900 a month living in LA? Ostensibly, SSI is geared for anybody who has a debilitating illness or condition where they can't work. And they can't work indefinitely, but it's also to help them to transition to being able to get work. And so I've gone back to work numerous times, sometimes receiving no SSI. And during one of these periods when I was working, at that time I was receiving, I guess, part of my SSI plus my work money. Because they don't just take all your SSI away immediately, as long as you report what you're earning. So that's how I got this place. It's a 200 square foot room. This is my restroom where I do this video upload. And of course it's an enclosed restroom. So if I have company over, they ain't got a smell when I'm going number 2. But yeah, and then I have another room. There's a tiny little kitchenette that is not an enclosed space, but it's just a room. It's not even an apartment. I believe a bachelor pad is generally 400 or at least 300 square feet. Like I said, mine is 200 square feet. So most of my money goes on the rent every month. My rent is almost $600. So that's scary. Social Security should be going up in January, which is a blessing because my rent's going up in January. This is controlled, government controlled rent where I live, but they can still raise your rent 4% every year, and they've been doing that every year. I moved in here 7 years ago, and they've been doing it for most of those 7 years. Shortly after I moved in, this big real estate boom has been going on in LA, so everything's going up in terms of like residential, any property is going up. 4% it's higher than inflation, and it's tough. It's tough. But you have to think out of the box. So the biggest thing that I do to cope with life and to thrive with life is that since 1999, coming out of a homeless shelter, I began to tithe. Tithe is where a person pays 10% of what they make, or what they get on SSI, right, to the Lord. That's the Christian version of it. But it would apply to Hindus or Buddhists or Muslims, anybody who wants to pay a certain percentage to God, or the God of their understanding, or perhaps to Darwin if you don't believe in God, but maybe you believe in the universe, and the universe will recycle stuff and give it back to you. So in my belief system, Malachi chapter 3 talks about how God will open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings on you that are bigger than you can contain. He would rebuke the devourer for your sake. Your fruit would not fall to the ground before its time. All nations would call you blessed. So I began tithing in 1999 without fail. That's going on 18 years. I started paying tithes, offerings, which is where I pay my 10% and then I pay above the 10%. Paying above the 10% just depends. It depends on how much money I have. Am I making extra money? Did money come from somewhere I wasn't even expecting it? Because these things happen once I started tithing. Gotta moisturize my vocal cords because they was getting dry. And what has happened with me, particularly since I started making offerings to God, is that the Lord has opened up the windows of heaven and poured out blessings on me that are bigger than I can contain, but they've all been immaterial blessings. My thinking was, God's going to give me the lottery numbers, right? Because I'm paying my tithe. And of course, when He opens the windows of heaven, it's going to be gold coins that fall down. And it hasn't. It's been immaterial. It's been, my mental health has improved. I've gotten coping skills to manage and to get through life, kind of like a person who's paraplegic will get around on a wheelchair. I've had to learn ways of getting through life. I struggle with anthrophobia. Anthrophobia is the fear of people. At its worst, I can be walking down the street and each person that's passing me has a knife, has a gun. They're about to shoot me, they're about to stab me. Maybe they're going to push me from a vehicle. But every person is planning on doing something harmful to me, man, woman, or even child. And it can cause everything to start spinning around and it can cause me to pass out. I've never actually passed out, but I've come close. On the other extreme, I can be living where there's not lots of people and people are going to break into my home at any moment. No, I do not have a drug history. A lot of people, it's a bigoted assumption that if you have mental illness, oh, he does drugs. He suffers from hallucinations, he does drugs. And that's not true. It's just not true. So the universe, God, whatever, has brought to me these mechanisms, these tools to cope and to begin to, like, I can leave my room every day, for example. I can be around people and I'm getting progressively more comfortable being around people, and my behavior doesn't become weird because of that feeling like I'm an alien and I don't belong in this world, or feeling that I'm in impending danger at all times. So a lot of these coping skills, one of the coping skills that I've been using to, and now it seems like it's in private as well as in public, but it's visualizations. I will visualize sending and receiving love to people. I will visualize sending and receiving love from God, and I will visualize sending and receiving love from myself. And sometimes I'll do it from animals as well. And this really helps keep me, it helps keep me centered, it helps keep me present, it helps keep me focused. It helps me take that deep breath when I really just want to respond with anger, which is how I grew up. There was so much abuse. My biological mother, that's how she dealt with things. She would just beat the hell out of us for, she was in a bad mood and maybe she thought we did something. You know, I'd been beaten for money came up missing and I didn't steal the money, you know, but I got the beating. That's how she dealt with things, and that's how I tend to deal with things, is anger. Fortunately to God, I don't abuse anybody, but I do tend to abuse myself. I'll get angry, I'll tighten up my joints, my tendons, whatnot. I'll react with anger. There are times where I get angry because I'm trying to pour a glass of whatever liquid or juice. I spill some of that liquid or juice, and in anger I just take the whole glass of juice and I just throw the whole thing on the ground. Maybe the cup breaks. I've done that, and that just makes things worse, obviously. But punching the wall, or just getting so angry that I can feel my blood pressure rising. This is how I've always dealt with things. And now as I do these visualizations, slowly but surely, I'm learning that there's a gentler, wiser, calmer, patient way of dealing with these things in life. That life doesn't have to be all smooth in order for me to act smoothly. And as I deal and cope with these hard aspects of life, I'm able to find the solution. And while the problem, if y'all have ever seen trains, planes, and automobiles, you kind of know how my life is. It's just all these things happen, and a lot of it's just because all of these things happen that kind of get in my way and cause life to be hellish. Just as I work my way through life, a lot of that has to do with having dreams and goals. I have big dreams and big goals, but I also have a lot of small dreams and small goals. And the universe will throw stuff at you to test your resolve. So what I have found is that I can take these road bumps the way a person would do it in a healthy way. I can slow down and realize that my progress is going to be slowed temporarily, and then speed up and slow down when I need to, and just go through life like that. Or I can try to speed up and go over the speed bump and, you know, break a fender or do something to where now the car works even less. Now the car may not go anywhere at all. So as I'm able to deal with life in a patient way, I'm finding that all of this crap that the universe throws at me, it doesn't stymie me for as long, and it doesn't stymie me as much now that I'm progressively learning to deal with all of these things in life that stand in my way. And I'm able to go under, around, sometimes perhaps through, but to do it with patience. I do have to deal with the bigotry of being on SSI because, you know, nobody wants to date a person who is on SSI. When I have dated, guys wanted to take control of my life. Basically, they would always ask me stuff like, so you have a criminal record? Oh, so you're a drug addict. I mean, I've even had people tell me that, so you're a drug addict. It's like, no, I'm not. And a lot of times they assume that I want money, and so that's a daily thing where I have to deal with that. For people who want to give advice, know that, well, just don't tell me you're on SSI, is something that I've done, and obviously they're going to find out once they come to my room. So I'm straight up about it, including in, I'm on 2 little hookup sites, which I never hook up on because I'm really honest about, in my profile, about where I'm at, and that I demand to be respected. Just as if I had a degree in a car, and the same way. And what I found is that so far nobody's capable of doing that, respecting my autonomy. I want to talk about my YouTube channel. So it's been very slow going. I'm not a techie person, and I don't have hardly any friends on Facebook. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Instagram. I'm not even sure how they're really used. So it's been very slow going, my YouTube channel. It took me 6 months to get up to 1,000 views. And mind you, by this time I had over 100 videos. So it's been slow going. I need 10,000 views just to be able to get monetized, and my goal is to make money from this. You know, even if it's just $100 a month, hey, or $100 every 3 months, that would be helpful. I have 12 subscribers who I love. I'm Jesus, and they're my 12 disciples. Well, I might not be Jesus, but they're as lovely as the 12 disciples. Yeah. So, like 5 weeks ago, I only had 3 subscribers. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal for me, and I love my 12 subscribers. y'all is beautiful. And it's been slow. Like I said, it's been slow going, but the rate at which my views are increasing, the 6 month marker seems to be kind of a this mile marker, if you will, because it looks like now in the next month I'll get easily another 1,000 views, because I'm going on 1,300 already, and I'm just barely into month number 7. So I will have this series, it will be ongoing, where I just talk about my life and how I'm coping and how I'm thriving. And hopefully you'll find this interesting. Hopefully you'll fall in love with me. And you'll want to watch all my videos as I've fallen in love with you. Alright, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment, commercials. They will be appearing someday. Recommend my videos. Do one or more of those things. Thank you. Best wishes.